Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the latest series in the MCU. It is the second series out of the connected storylines of the MCU in the Marvel Cinematic Universe story television division. The first being WandaVision. That's in the I'm not saying like all TV series, just in the MCU timeline. Like the first being on the Disney Plus series. First being WandaVision, which I'm going to review. I know. Everyone's been saying, "Where's WandaVision?" It's coming. Trust me. I feel like it's just came out. Falcon and Winter Soldier just ended, so I feel like, you know what, right now is the perfect time to do the review. The show stars Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, and it stars Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier, and it stars Erin Kellyman as Carly, and Wyatt Russell as John Walker, and it stars Danny Ramirez as he's the Falcons, one of the Falcons' buddies, and it also stars Daniel Bruh as Zemo. And the show is essentially like a continuation of where Endgame left off, where the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and with Sam Wilson and Bucky, and basically showing you how Chris Evans, Captain America, Steve gives up the shield to Sam. And Sam basically gives it to a museum. And basically the museum takes it and gives it to... Because they're like, oh, well, just because Steve Rogers did doesn't mean Captain America's dead. We need to have a new Captain America. And he gives it to a guy named John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell. And John Walker basically is trying to be like the Boy Scout, the mascot of Captain America. He goes around trying to promote Captain America Stars and Stripes. And he's like, I was a soldier, so yeah, I'm just like him, And he's not a super soldier. He's just a regular guy. And it's kind of cool. I mean, he has there is a lot of annoyance to him, but at the same time, there's a lot of cool stuff with him. And also, Sam and Bucky have to deal with that, but they also have to deal with, there are these people, kind of like they're a terrorist organization, but they're not, like, Sam's like, don't call them that, but they're kind of like that. They're people called the Flag Smashers, and they're led by a girl named Carly, who's played by Erin Kellyman, where they basically believe that they liked it better when the snap happened. Like, the snap happened, and they were just like, okay, we want to be in that world. And then when everyone came back, they overpopulation and stuff, and so they're like, well, if we kill all the people, if we kill, like, politicians and all the people that not supposed to be here and stuff, then the world will be a better place. And, well, They basically, and they're also trying to stop this bill from being passed they're trying to stop a bill from being passed where, they're about something to do with, letting people in or letting people out or something. And they're trying to stop that from happening. And basically, they're almost like an eco-terrorist organization, really, if you want to call them that. They're basically super soldiers. Like, what they have is a guy replicated Captain America's serum again. And they take it, and they're basically super soldiers. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, Sam and Bucky, have to go after them. And they find out when they get their asses handed to them that these people are super soldiers. And they have to go on and find out where the serum came from and how they made it. And it's kind of like a couple of them that do the detective work. And how they find out is they have to team up with a villain who was locked away in prison called Zemo, who was the villain in Civil War, played by Daniel Bruh, who... they basically have to break him out, and, he has to help them find, the power broker, and then they find, along the way, they find Emily Van Camp's character, Sharon Carter, and she basically helps them on their journey, and also the Wakandans show up when they find out Zemo broke out, and they're basically wanting Zemo back in prison, and so a bunch of conflicts happens along the way. You have Carly, who's basically is like, we need to basically hurt these people, to send them a message. And, I agree with some of Carly's methods. She just wants to make the world a better place, but at the same time, she's almost like General Zod in Man of Steel. At the same time, she has a lot of good ideas, but she wants to kill a lot of people to achieve those ideas, and you're like, I see what you're doing, Zod, but at the same time, you're a psychopath for believing these ideas, like Thanos almost was a humanitarian, because he was like, I'm going to snap away. Overpopulation's the problem. Snap, wiped out half the universe. And then the second time when he wanted to do it, he was just being a dictator. I think the second time, second Thanos I thought was a little bit more crazier because he was just like, I'm just gonna wipe out everyone. You know, at least the first Thanos, I felt like he was not a villain. I felt like he's more of an anti-hero. You know, because he was like, look, I'm just gonna kill half the population. I'm not gonna kill everyone. You know, so you can kill me afterwards, but this is gonna happen. While the other Thanos, he was just like, I'm gonna kill all of you. You know, just like, you know, Carly, she does not want to kill people, but she will, you know? And I kind of feel like in the end she did become the monster she was not trying to be. Like, and I feel like there's a lot of character. Like, the show basically, they end up having to go to, like, a power broker, and they end up having to basically... There's a lot of funny moments in it. Like, there's, of course, the theme... There's a big dance scene that with Zemo where he's just like... You know, and there's like, you know, there's funny stuff like where, like, you know, like there, where Sam dresses up and he's like, I look like a pimp. And they drank rattlesnake milk. And it's just so much crazy stuff happens. And also, you know, they find out, like, you know, also Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker, keeps showing up everywhere. He's kind of annoying up until he does something heinous. What happens is they find the super soldier serums, and Zemo destroys them all because he doesn't believe super soldiers should be there. Super soldiers need to die. That's why he shot them all in the head in Civil War. You know, when he went to the location, and he went there and shot them all in the head and killed them when they're on cryosleep because he said that world should not have super soldiers. And he did that the same way. He stepped on the super soldier serum and crushed them. All but one. He gets knocked in the head by John Walker with the Captain America shield. And then John Walker takes the serum and then does something heinous. Because, you know, when you take the serum, because Steve Rogers was the perfect example. You know, when, you know, he took because they killed the doctor and they took the serum. The last one was destroyed. You know, there was 2 serums, and Steve Rogers got one. The other one was destroyed. They've been trying to replicate it ever since, and they came close. But like with Abomination and Incredible Hulk, he became a monster. You know, like Blonsky became a monster. You know, and they tried this again. Like, you know, in Civil War, they tried the serum. Bucky was the only one. You know, I mean, you can have super soldiers, but then it messes your mind up. Bucky is almost like a walking disaster because so much heinous stuff has happened to him, and he's not a sane person, you know. And John Walker takes it, and of course, what happens? He becomes a crazy person. He becomes a psychopath, and he ends up because his friend gets killed. He has a partner with him that, you know, is like, oh, I'm with the new Cap, you know, and you know, and then he ends up getting killed, which it was kind of an accident. He gets killed, you know, because he was just in the way, and then of course, John Walker finds one guy that's part of the Flag Smashers, and he takes his shield and kills him with the shield. And, you know, there's blood on that shield, and everyone just sees him as a monster. And then there's a great fight sequence between Bucky and Sam and John Walker. And, you know, it's an even match still, you know, because he's like super soldier now, and he's kind of crazy, you know. And he also, in which I feel like, I almost thought there was some ideas that I really liked. Like I will tell you the good about it. The good I really liked about it was John Walker, he almost basically just like, you know, like he was becoming the villain of the story. And I don't know in the comics if I know he becomes U.S. agent or secret agent or whatever. And I really like that he was like, you know, slipping, like he's like, you know, you told me to be Captain America and I did the job and now you're upset. And I like that idea. There are a lot of ideas I like in a way. Like there is like, I liked like that. I like the idea of that. And I like that, you know, you had Madam Hydra show up and basically saying, oh yeah, the guy got what he deserved. And I really like that there's I really like the idea between Bucky and Sam that they both need each other because Bucky feels that you giving up the shield means it was not meant for you, meaning that Chris, Steve, I keep calling him Chris Evans because he's played by Chris Evans. He's just saying that Steve was wrong about me, meaning I cannot be redeemed because he still has flashbacks of being the Winter Soldier, and he's trying to redeem himself as the Winter Soldier. Like he keeps calling himself the Winter Soldier. He's not the Winter Soldier anymore, but he still sees himself as the Winter because he's killed and done horrible things. But it wasn't him. It was like he was not in the pilot seat, and he kind of is there. And he had to go to Wakanda and fix his mind, and you know, in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of cool stuff with the Wakandans. Like they come in and they want Zemo, and Zemo escapes, and all this stuff happens, and you know, and like you know, and Zemo basically wants to die in a way, but at the same time, it's like, look, if you keep me alive, then crazy stuff's just gonna keep happening with me. And then they're like, okay, we'll let creepy stuff keep happening. And also, like, there's, Zemo does a lot of crazy stuff, and there's a lot of cool fight sequences. The fight, I will say that the finale was pretty good too. I know some people say it was a little rushed, but I thought it was fine. Like, I thought, like, there's a little cool scene with the helicopter where he's texting someone. Like, it's almost like an Iron Man where he says, find out who has piloting skills. He found out. Then he texts him. He says, be ready to grab this dude. And then he just goes and knocks the guy out up there, and she grabs that helicopter. I thought that was so cool, And then also, there's a cool scene, there's a cool fight scene, and John Walker helps him and everything. I thought that was cool. Although he makes a shitty shield. Like, I will say, that was a shitty shield he made. I'm like, dude, really? You're that hurt about being Captain America, you gotta get a new shield? I mean, come on, man. I mean, there's that, that happens and stuff. And, I liked it. I really say I liked it, okay, Like, I think it was a really good idea. Like, there's a lot of stuff I liked, okay? Like, I thought in the finale, like, the villain, Carly, she was justifiable in everything she was doing. But at the same time, she was doing it, like, heinously. I like that it didn't try to redeem her at the end. I liked at the end that she went full badass. Like, there was thing, like, she drove, like, a truck on there, and that she drove that van on it to kill those people. And then she didn't, like, have second thoughts about it, like, oh, I need to help these people now or nothing. She just even tried to advance it. Like, she even tried to push it over, try to advance it even more. And I'm just like, she truly is accepting this villain. Like, there was a scene in the finale where she's telling her people, like, look, we need to do this, okay? We're going to have to kill these people to show up a message. And I'm just like, and they're all looking at her like she's crazy, like, but that is true. I mean, she is, in fact, a monster. Like, she becomes that monster because she knows, look, like, they're not gonna stop me. So I guess they're gonna take my soul away. That's what they're gonna take from me, and I'm just gonna kill people. Like, if they're gonna stop us, then we're just gonna kill these people. And I honestly thought that was a great idea. They kept her as a monster. They didn't try to redeem her, because there's been so many cliches where they try to have, like, in Hollywood, where they'll have a villain, and at the end they try to do, like, a PSA message, and they just redeem the villain. And I always feel like I hate that in movies. I like it when the villain just dies a villain. And I thought that was so great, because it's like, they're the bad guy. You should be the bad guy. I hate, like, in movies when they just try to swap sides. Bad guy's like, oh, you're right. I should be good. Yeah. Okay. Like, I hate that so much. And Holly's been doing it lately, and I hate it. Hate it. I like it when it's just like the bad guy's like, I'm going to kill you. And then they just die. And I'm like, I thought that was great. Because I understand, like, you had thought she was going to get redeemed in the end, but in the end, she actually died a villain. But at the same time, some way you could say she redeemed herself, but at the same way, she really didn't. And I also like there's a big twist that they had where they basically were like, okay, the power broker is Sharon. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And Zemo was pretty good. There's a scene where at the end where they put everybody in the thing, and they basically have a quote that they say, and you could see, like, okay, oh, this guy's going to break him out. And so it blows up, and Zemo has a butler, and there's lots of memes also I've been seeing online where, like, Zemo has a quote, and then at the end, like, and then Sam goes, it's weird, but he's right. And I'm just like, I see it everywhere now. All I see is that meme everywhere now. It's fun. The Zemo and Sam meme going, he's right. In a messed up way, he's right. No, like, I love that. I love that so much. I mean, and there is, like, I've been blowing, like, saying, oh, I'm blowing this movie, saying, oh, this is so great. This is great. I will say there's some stuff I didn't like. Like, I didn't like the boat thing. I just didn't care for the boat thing. I didn't care for the sister storyline. I understood why it's there, but I just didn't care for it. Like, I just felt like, the boat, I mean, it's important that they have, I know that you need to have some kind of character moment to humanize Sam, or else he's just walking around being like a dick the whole time. You need to have something, because I understand, Sam is a big dick in this sometimes. Like, there's some stuff he does, you're like, oh, he's a kind of a dick. But at the same time, I understand, you gotta humanize him some. Like, Bucky, you can humanize Bucky. Sam, you gotta humanize him a little more, because he's kind of an ass. But, at the same time, I understood that. And I respect, that. And even though it's not, like, I could have, like, felt like, if this was a movie, I don't think this would have been in the movie. I just don't think it would have. But yeah, like, I will say, I like moments of the black guy, Carl Lumbre's character, who is the black Captain America, who's a black super soldier. And I like moments of that. But at the same time, I just feel like I got kind of confused, because I'm like, he said they threw his ass in jail. I'm like, who? The government or Hydra? You know, because the government was at one point Hydra, so I'm like, was it Hydra that wanted to test on you and stuff, experiment on you? Because it's like, you know, because I'm like, I don't understand. You know, I was kind of confused about that. I'm like, is he talking about Hydra or is he talking about actual government? If they ever actual government, then I'm like, then why are they the ones who took his blood and made super soldier serum? I mean, it had a lot more questions than the answers, and I was just kind of confused about that. Although I respected that they had that character in there. Also, I respected that I kind of feel like they shoehorned in like the Bucky killing his neighbor's son. I feel like they shoehorned it in like that. He just disappears after a while, and then he shows up at the end, and I was just like, I just feel like they shoehorned that in there. Like it didn't even really do nothing for the story, other than try to humanize Bucky, and that was even less than the boat thing. You know, I did like that Sam became Captain America in the end, because I kind of feel like that was going to happen. Although I was just wondering, I'm like, okay, who's going to become the Falcon now? Like, you know, I'm just wondering, but I'm sure we'll find out, because they just announced Captain America 4, you know, and Sam's going to be the Falcon, or the Captain America in that one, and Bucky's going to return as the Winter Soldier, so I'm sure it's going to be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America, you know, and Bucky, you know. But I'm looking forward to it. I will say, all in all, I'm going to give this, if I had to grade it as a movie, I would say it's a B+. But if I had to say it's, as a TV series, I like doing 9 out of 10s. So I would say at 1 through 10, I would say it's about a 9.5. I mean, it's a really strong series, and I will say I would love to watch it again sometime. I would love to own it on Blu-ray if they ever drop it on Blu-ray, because it's a fantastic show. I love the finale. I loved every episode. There's one episode, I think episode 4 or 3, had like a slow build-up, but then after a while, I kind of enjoyed it, you know, and I will say, it's a really good show, and I would recommend you watch it. But all in all, yeah, that's about, 9.5 and a B+. But thank you so much for watching. I'm going to do my mass thesis coming soon. And I got 2 reviews I got to have out next week. I'm going to, Those Who Wish Me Dead. I've been looking forward to that. That trailer looked amazing. I'm gonna have a review for that movie. I'm gonna definitely watch that movie and review it. And I'm gonna try to see Spiral next weekend, and the new Saw movie. And I'm planning, if everything goes well, don't quote me, I may not be able to happen, I'm gonna try to have a review every day for a Saw movie. So leading up to Spiral, like I'm gonna try to do Saw 1, Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4. I got my niece invested in the Saw movies, and so she's watching them. And so she's basically, we're on Saw 4 right now, so I got to still review 1 through 3. And so we're on Saw 4 right now, so she's been watching and she's getting into them. And so I told her, after once we finished the Jigsaw, we're going to go and watch Spiral. So that's what I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do a review on the Saw movies. I haven't done them yet, so let's go. But thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to have if the Venom trailer drops Monday, then I will definitely have a reaction for you Monday. If it doesn't, well, I'm sorry. I don't control Sony. But thank you so much. If you liked the video, just give it a thumbs up and fall down the rabbit hole for more. Goodbye. Thank you all so much.